Hello, and welcome to our Homeschool One-on-One series. I'm Wendy Eklund, a longtime homeschool mom of three with a passion for child-centered education, learning lifestyles, and family support. I work very closely with Paige.
Hello there, I'm Paige McKinney. I am a homeschooling parent and I am very happy to be here today.
We are with Homeschool Concierge, a nonprofit I founded to help support the needs of the homeschool community.
Homeschool Concierge is an educational nonprofit run by homeschool parents. We offer free virtual talks year-round on a variety of educational topics. We have a free monthly newsletter with original articles and unique resources. We monitor and help our community as a whole respond to legislation that may impact homeschooling, charter schools, and school choice. In fact, we're very busy right now fighting against AB 1316 here in California. We offer access to free resources on our website to help you homeschool.
And we are so excited to be able to introduce you to our guests for today, Kate and Pascaline from University of the People. Welcome to you both, and thank you so much for being here. We're really excited about your organization and can't wait for our community to learn more about everything you have to offer.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much to Homeschool Concierge for inviting us to speak to you today. We've been so excited for this presentation. It's been great to work with you over these last few months, and it's really cool what you're doing. So we're delighted to be here. We've made a special presentation just for you and your audiences. We'll just start by introducing ourselves. So as the ladies very kindly introduced us, my name is Kate Campbell. I'm the Inbound Channels Director here at University of the People. What that means is that I'm responsible for a lot of our content and outputs particularly around social media. I'm responsible for our live events and educational webinars programs to attract potential students to come join us. So very excited to be here, and I'll turn it over to Pascaline to introduce herself as well.
Hi, I'm Pascaline Servan-Schreiber. I am Vice President for Business Development. I'm in charge of partnerships. I'm in charge of our refugee program and any new programs or initiatives we have for the University of the People. So thank you for having us today.
Of course, we feel honored.
Thank you. So we've got a lot of content for you today, so we will try and get through this as quickly but with as much content and detail as we can. Introducing ourselves, University of the People, what we're about, talking through our academic leadership and our partnerships, moving then into what we can offer from a degree program point of view, the experience and the learning experience, and trying to explain how that works, as well as then moving into the important stuff around how to join us, so how to apply, and with some Q&A, of course, at the end for any questions at all that you have. So, University of the People, who are we? So we are the first nonprofit, American accredited, tuition-free online university. A lot of words there, a lot of phrases, but we're all about opening the access to higher education on a global scale. We're not just any online university, we're a very special university, and we are very much all about this being a movement. We talk a lot about the education revolution because it's all about the mission for us. And if you come join us, or if your children come join us, they'll really get a sense of feeling of community, a global community. They're all in it together. So it's got a very, very high energy and real special feeling about this online university. And a little bit about our accreditation. So we are accredited by the DEAC, which is listed and recognized by the US Department of Education. And the Distance Education Accrediting Commission is represented by the Higher Education Accreditation, lots of accreditation, but we like to make sure that you are known and aware that your degree will be recognized, is transferable, and is useful to you for your employment. We're also going through a very exciting period at the university as we are eligible for our WASC, which is all about regional accreditation. So the university is just making strides and strides, and it's a very exciting time for us. Okay, so I'm just going to turn it over to Pascaline, who will now talk you through our academic leadership and, of course, our wonderful president and founder, Shai Reject. So, Pascaline.
Yeah, so University of the People was founded in 2009 by Shai Reshef, who is an entrepreneur who has been in the education space for a very long time. And before he started University of the People, he had a for-profit online university in Europe, and he saw the potential for having a nonprofit university that would be open to all of those who want to go to college but don't have an opportunity. So he came up with the idea, launched the university. We received our accreditation, in 2014, and we had 500 students. And here we are now with 65,000 students. So it's been quite a journey. So our University of the People has a very unique model. We have all our academic leadership and our volunteers who give us their advice and belong to our President's Council. And if you might recognize some of the people on the screen, they are all extremely recognized leaders in the education field. They are presidents, active or former, of leading universities around the world. And the President's Council is chaired by John Sexton of NYU. And as you can see, we have many prestigious leaders here who all support University of the People and give us their time. So all of our faculty is pro bono. So our faculty volunteers with us, and they usually teach in other institutions, and they want to give back to the community. And so we have this great relationship, and our deans and provosts are all extremely accomplished people in the education field. So our deans right now are from Princeton and NYU, and our provost, our vice provost used to be at Columbia. We have a lot of extremely accomplished people who are volunteering with us and providing the academic leadership. So we have this amazing array of, between the President's Council, where we have the heads of Berkeley, Duke, Vassar, Columbia, Oxford, and internationally other universities, McGill and EFAT. And here we basically have the best leadership possible. So University of the People is very proud to have academic collaborations with a number of very prestigious universities. So our latest is with Harvard Business School Online. We have, as you may know, we have a business administration degree, and Harvard Business School Online has a core curriculum of 3 courses, which they are offering to our students at an enormous discount for them. And University of the People has been able to set this up so that we can give credit to our students who take these 3 courses so that they can apply them towards their major. So we are starting our first cohort this summer. And so we have some students in our business administration major who can take these Harvard Business School courses. With a number of other universities, we have what's called a 2+2 arrangement, which means that students can do a 2-year associate degree with University of the People, and then if their grades are sufficient and if they qualify, they can transfer to other universities such as McGill or NYU or UC Berkeley. So, and then we also have agreements with EFAT University in Saudi Arabia, Long Island University, where our health science students can actually pursue nursing degrees if they want to become nurses in their bachelor degree, and University of Edinburgh, where we have currently an agreement to help Syrian refugees who want to study in person after having studied at University of the People. And then finally, we also have a great relationship with the IB, the International Baccalaureate. We offer a master's in education in advanced teaching, where we basically train teachers to become IB teachers. So we train them in the IB curriculum, and then they can go teach in IB schools. So as you can see, University of the People has amazing relationships with very prestigious universities, and we are constantly negotiating new agreements. So this list gets longer as we go along. Thanks, Kate.
Thank you, Pascaline. You've done some of my job for me in the next section, particularly around the EBD. So thank you for that.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's amazing again to hear about how the IB relationship has made such a difference. So thank you. So let me tell you all about that. Perfectly segues into the degree programs that we offer and what that means. So first of all, business administration, very, very popular course. We offer that in the associate's degree, bachelor's degree, and an MBA as well, which is extremely popular. Again, this really is all about the comprehensive knowledge of business theories, applying models to real life situations, connecting concepts to global societies, and really gives you solid preparation to go into the world of business or to continue your graduate studies as well. Pascaline just said this all perfectly and eloquently just before, just about our MED, our must education, talking all about how we build that in cooperation with the IB. Again, this is preparing our students to enter the dynamic careers and world of health, education, childcare, community leadership. So that is what this degree MED offers. We have our computer science degree as well. We offer that again in associates and in a bachelor's degree. We take all the problem solving skills that you will learn, develop solutions again for real life problems using very complex algorithms. It's not just about coding. You start to understand, write it, speak it. And again, this prepares you for a wide range of industries: IT, mobile cybersecurity, gaming, healthcare, data science, all of those great things. And then health sciences, of course. So again, emphasis on the knowledge and the skills and the functions that you would really need to in the evolving healthcare work. So it's biology, public health, anything like this, health science, and particularly with the ongoing pandemic situation that we've had, never has health science been more important. So again, a wonderful course offering in these two different associates and bachelor degree levels. So hopefully Pascaline and I have given you all a bit of a flavour of what we offer and our quality and credibility. Now let's talk about the student experience. What is it like learning with us, and how does our online learning module and model apps actually work? So first of all, to your right are a few screen grabs of what our models look like. This is actually Moodle on the side here. On the face of it, it's very similar to our website. If any of you haven't visited our website yet, we really encourage you to do that. UOPeople.edu, which as well will give you so much more information, lots and lots of in-depth information on all our curriculum, much more elaborating of what we've gone into today. But first of all, let's talk a little bit about the learning materials and textbooks, which are all part of our open education resources, which are fully free of charge to all of our students. No textbook fees, no expensive textbooks. All of that is included as part of this. So this can come in the form of ebooks, PDFs, libraries, anything that's been made available, high quality resources. Secondly, I've mentioned a little bit about Moodle. So we use an online learning management system, LMS. This is one of the most widely used LMSs around, very, very popular, very, very well known. And that is where you will use all the students go on and use Moodle to complete all their coursework, go onto the discussion guides and access everything they need to access to do with their courses. The courses are led by qualified instructors, which will guide the students and support the students through every course. This is through discussion guides, and we deliver these courses. Each week we'll have learning assignments, quizzes, discussion forums. It's all about collaborative working with University of the People. And that brings me on to how the students will engage with each other. So this is through, again, online discussion forums and peer-to-peer reviews, which I'm going to pause and talk a little bit about that. Paige and I had many discussions when we were talking about this, the development of this, today's presentation about peer review and peer assessments, which is something that is a little bit unique, certainly to University of People. So what that means is that each week the students will work together to grade each other's work within the discussion guides. So, for example, if I'm in a class, each class will be divided down to around about, you may expect around on average 30 other members in your class. So when you're working together and you're preparing your discussion guides and assessments, you will then be assigned around 3 other students who will grade your work. And likewise, you will be assigned 3 students to grade. Now, all of this is very important. You have to complete the grading of others as well as yourself to complete your overall grade for that piece. Now, Paige asked a very valid question, because I know many of you will be thinking, wow, okay, my son, daughter is young coming into this, say 6. I'll tell you a little bit about the application process and eligibility, but we have students coming in as young as 16, and there is no age barrier. You can come and study with us at any age, at any time. This is all about opening the access at any point. It is very possible that you may have one person who is 18 that is grading somebody that is in a completely different country, a completely different age. Everybody is in different walks of life. But let me tell you this, it is a learning curve for anyone on these peer assessments. It is a learning curve for anyone to start looking. We have very specific guidelines around what you justify the grade as being. And it takes time to get used to that. It takes time to learn. And all of this is done under the supervision of our qualified instructors. If something is seen and it's not right, it can be challenged. Again, it's the reason why this is so unique and such a beneficial experience as part of UO People, because it's true to life. We all work with our peers. We all, we're working across on team projects, and people say, this person needs to deliver X, this person needs to deliver Y. So this is why this collaborative working model really prepares people for the world of business or future careers. And it also builds confidence and brings people out of their shell. So that's why we use this technique. And it's very important and goes part of our whole tuition-free model. So let's talk a bit about our course structure. So we have 5 academic terms per annum. They feel like they go very, very quickly, particularly for us on the admissions side. Each course is 9 weeks long and comprises 8 units of study. So when it comes to courses, typically, if you're part-time, you'll take around 1 course per term. If you're full-time, you may pick 2 courses, but it really depends on your situation and your GPA as well. All of this can be talked about with your program advisor. For undergraduates, the students will take a test in the 9th week of their term in terms of the material that was covered on their course. Graduates a little bit different. It's based a lot around more of the coursework. So what you'll be looking at is around 15 to 20 hours per week for each course. So let's talk now finally about student support. So we never want you to feel like you're on your own offending. It can be very, very challenging to study online. You have to be your own motivator, your own disciplinarian. Now, many of you that have been homeschooling are already used to those qualities and have been building those skills to learn, have not been in that classroom setting. So you already have an advantage coming in because you've had that home discipline, home at learning experience and environment. Many others don't, so it can be a real challenge and a real shift. But our program advisors, you get assigned one and you get one for the whole entire journey of your time with us at UO People. So you have a dedicated program advisor, any issues, any concerns, anything that at all, program advisor is your personal person that you go to and reach out to. You also get your one-on-one feedback and guidance from your qualified instructors, which again is all on the discussion forums. You have your peer review groups, your student forums, and we have such an active and supportive community. You really do feel like you are part of something special. All different people from different cultures, all walks of life are on here. It is no discrimination. This is what we're all about, is bringing the world together. And it gives you another opportunity to step outside of your own network and network with other people right across the globe. The students often also are very, very proactive with their own Facebook groups as well, WhatsApp groups. It's all about supporting each other. So let's talk about the application process. So this is the last piece of our presentation before we go into any questions and answers. So if you're going into an undergraduate degree, so associates or bachelors, you are 16 years or older, and you can demonstrate your high school completion. Now, we understand, particularly for our homeschooling audience, that may be through a high school, that may be you've done on your own. What I do want to say is that we open access to everybody so that we take away that barrier of if you do not have a specific high school diploma, that is okay. We can work with you and make sure that you have the right documentation and we get you through our process. If for any reason that we don't, you have the opportunity to take an ability to benefit test. So either way, we will work with you to make sure, regardless whether you've gone homeschooling through a high school or through your own means, that you can join us, and we want you to join us. For graduates, so say those of you that maybe already have a degree or you're thinking about taking further education studies at this point, fantastic. We would love to have you. Obviously, it's 18 and over. You already possess a bachelor's degree. You have a minimum of 2 years work experience if you're doing an MBA with us. And then you have a letter of recommendation, all very, very straightforward. The process, I won't go into every single step here. We have a very, very supportive and easy application process. Again, you go onto our website, uopeople.edu, and you follow the very, very simple steps that we lay out, going onto our portal, filling all the details. We ask for a one-time application fee, and I'll talk about fees just in the next slide with you all. And then you put in for any transfer credits as at whatever is relevant. And then ultimately what we want is for you to save your spot for the next term. And by the way, we have an application deadline coming up of June 5th. So if you are interested about coming on and joining us very soon, please do, because we do have an application deadline coming up very shortly on June 5th. So let's discuss the costs. Now, we say that we are tuition free. We are absolutely tuition free. As I've explained, you don't pay anything for our tuition, learning materials, anything like that. We have removed almost all of the costs that it would be to attend university. We've taken all of the enrollment, course materials, and we're bringing the classroom to you in your home. But there are some costs that we need to help keep our university sustainable and help support others. So first of all, there is a $60 application fee, which is one time and it's non-refundable, again, to help with all our processing costs. And there are assessment fees per course completion. So if you're planning out financially, you will know when those payments are due. And depending on what courses and how many you're taking, then again, that will help you better prepare in terms of what is going to be coming up for you in your payments, in your payment scheme. So that's $120 per assessment for course completion for undergrad and $240. I've put in the cost here about transfer credits because I know that's something, again, that is of interest to know a little bit more. But again, we're one of the lowest costing out there, $17 per approved course when it comes to transfer credits. So all in all, taking any transfer credits out of it, the average cost of our degrees are just super affordable. $2,460 for an associate, $4,860 for bachelors. I mean, an MBA for under $3,000, it's pretty amazing. When you think about the average cost of an MBA here, particularly in the US. and 3180 for an MED as well. An example of, we're very proud at UO People with our graduates. We have some amazing stories. And again, there's ways that you can find out more about our alumni. We have a fantastic YouTube channel where we've done lots of interviews with alumni. We have lots of videos available there. Again, go to our website. If you want to ask our students or graduates questions, you can go to Ask Me Anything. We're super, super proud that many of our graduates are now in work positions and in some of the top companies here, as you can see. Some of the logos here are just, again, top companies, and we're so proud that we've been able to give these opportunities for them to go on and do great things in their careers. But don't just take our word for it. As I said, we have so many testimonials. Again, please go to our websites, our socials. We talk to students and put out what our students are saying all the time. And we have some amazingly impressive stats from our annual survey results about our student satisfaction, our recommendations, and how they felt that it really helped them achieve their goals. And we have a real whopping 65,000 students studying with us right now at UO People, and that's only set to grow. It's a very busy time, certainly for us in the enrollment department. It always feels like that. So please do come join us. We would love to have you. And thank you so much again, Paige and Wendy, for having us on and being able to present our university and our proposition to you. So with that, if you have any questions, Pascaline and I would love to help answer some of those for you. And I'm going to take a quick drink of water.
Well, we're so honored to have you. Thank you so much for such an organized, incredible presentation. Thank you, Pascaline, as well. I do have a few questions I have put together. You answered so many of the questions I may have next.
I tried.
Such a thorough job with your presentation.
Thank you.
So my first question, and if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to submit them and we will answer them here. My first question would be, do you guys have any plans to add more degree programs in the future? And if so, which degrees specifically?
Yeah, that's a great question. Pascaline, would you?
Yeah, I'll take that. So, you know, we cannot speak about degrees before they are accredited. So that's unfortunately not something we can predict. But we are constantly looking at new degrees, and but we certainly would want to have degrees that are in demand, that lead to great employment opportunities. So we're constantly reviewing this, but unfortunately we can't announce anything until they've been accredited.
That's okay. I understand, but it does sound that there are plans of continued expansion. So that's great. So some of these questions I've gathered from friends and family that I've talked to, so I'm going to continue with the next one. I would like to ask just a quick question about transferability. So if a student was attending University of the People and earned credits, but decided for whatever reason they needed to move to a different university, would they be able to transfer the credits from University of the People to another college?
So this is something that that students do, absolutely. You would need to check with the institution that you want to transfer to, that are accredited courses, are accepted. It's at the discretion, of course, of the receiving institution, but yes. And in the case of the universities with which we have these academic partnerships, then obviously they accept our transfer credits, UC Berkeley and McGill and LIU and NYU. So there is definitely precedent there.
Thank you. There's always a question about transferability, not just with University of the People, but just with every college. You always have to go directly and ask.
Yeah, and just to add to that, because people obviously not only transfer out, but transfer in. So just to explain a little bit of how that process works is that The admissions advisor will help you with this whole process. So when you start your application with us, you will get assigned an admissions advisor, will then help you right through. So if you have got transfer credits that you want, what happens is that we'll evaluate all of that for you, so that you upload all of that on there. That's evaluated for free. Once we do reach that point, you decide which approved courses that you would like to transfer. So again, that will be, you'll be helped every step of the way. And as I explained, there is a small charge of $17 for each course transferred. So again, just to reiterate that this is very common practice for us. We do it all the time, and the admissions advisors will help you every step of the way, so that you then calculate the full costs, what they're going to look like, and what courses you'll be taking. I do want to mention as well that because I made some notes of this earlier just to make sure that I had it, for an associate's degree, you can transfer up to 45 credits, which is 75% of your degree. The bachelor's, it's 90, which is 75% again. And master's, that's 18, which is up to 50% of your degree. So again, you have the opportunity of speed completion, which is obviously a real beneficial point to have with us.
Well, thank you so much. We have 2 questions from Jennifer McQueen. The first one is also about transferring. Jennifer says, transferring credits question. Do credits from a community college transfer? My 14-year-old high school student is taking community college courses now. Would they be accepted at University of the People?
That's a great question. I think, again, it would be best to speak with your admissions advisor. So if you start your application, then they will be able to help you just in terms of what credits. They'll be able to look and evaluate it with all of those, and then be able to advise.
Okay, great. We'll move on to Jennifer's second question. Jennifer asks, is the grading more heavily on instructor feedback or the peer reviews, or is it equal? Basically, how much does their grade weigh on the peer reviews received and given as opposed to the instructor grading?
So, Pascaline, would you mind just explaining?
Yeah, so, yeah, sure. So the way the peer review works is that students are their work is being graded anonymously by 3 of their peers, and each student is also grading 3 of its peers. So everybody grades 3 people and is being graded by 3 people. And then the grade, they take an average of the grades, and that's the grade that matters. And then the exams are graded by the system. Usually they're multiple choice exams, and so that's something that is done automatically. So sometimes there are questions that arise, and the instructor is the final arbiter of grading for their class. So if there is, if a student is unhappy with the way the peer grading has happened, they always have the option of taking it up with the instructor, and the instructor will make sure that things are done, the way they should be. So it's I don't know that there's a formula that's the same for every course. I think it varies, but there's always a recourse to go to the instructor if the peer grading is being challenged. And in our experience, what we have found is that our new students are usually a little taken aback by the peer grading, because it's not what they're used to. And in high school, usually you have your instructor or your professor who gives you the grade, and that's the ultimate authority. In this more distributed pedagogy, obviously there are different levels, and some people speak English better than others, and so there can always be a sense that things are not as fair as they should be, or as smooth as they could be. But what we have found is that in the beginning, it takes a little bit of time to adjust, but there's a reason why we do the peer grading. And the reason is that in order to learn the material, if you have to grade someone else's paper, you actually have to know the material yourself. And so it's a very valuable tool in our pedagogy. And so when we interview our second year students, the ones who in their first year were saying, oh, peer grading, that's tough. In their second year, they're usually very grateful for the peer grading, and they love it because they see it as an opportunity to really hone in on their knowledge and on what they've acquired, the skills they've acquired in the class. So it takes a little bit of getting used to, but we have found that it actually ends up benefiting the students tremendously.
Well, I really appreciate that information. I will say that my son is taking online community college courses, and getting kids involved by interacting with each other, evaluating each other's statements and discussion is similar to peer review. I don't know that their grade is resting on that, but you need to get these kids engaged when it's an online format. And just talking at them or having lectures, I don't think is enough engagement. So I appreciate you explaining that peer review process.
Yeah, and I could add, Paige, I think that's, you make a very good point. When people think about online education, and especially with what's been happening with the pandemic and, sort of the fiasco of colleges in the last year, where people were scrambling to put their lectures online because that's what they think online education is. Mm-hmm. We have a very different model. We've been doing this for 12 years. We are experts at online education, and the way our courses are designed means that it is highly interactive, and it's not a passive situation where the student just sort of sits there and is the recipient of a lecture that's online, which may or may not be good and could be very terrific. Our students have to work hard. There's absolutely no denying it. And we don't want to make it sound like it is easy, because it is hard. But your community, your kids who are homeschooled, obviously are self-starters, and they're motivated to do the work outside of the box. And so when you have that kind of mentality, then you can really take full advantage of our pedagogy. And so the reason why we have become so popular, we in the last year, when at the beginning of the pandemic, we had 20,000 students, and now we have 65,000. So that just shows you the kind of growth we've had. It's because students recognize that you can't just make it up. We have pedagogy, we have instructional designers, we have subject matter experts. When we write the courses so that they can be interactive and have the best learning experience for an online format.
Well, thank you so much. And Jennifer has a wonderful comment for you. She says that is a great point, in all caps, about the peer grading. Have to know what you're talking about if you're doing the grading.
Yeah. We all of us as UO People staff has actively been in a class. I joined one last week when they showed us. I mean, again, when we talk classes, it's not like traditional class. It's all discussion forums, because everybody's on different time zones. So it's super interesting to see where everybody's from, all the different countries, and how everybody's then communicating. But in terms of from looking at how the students are then grading, and they have to be very detailed about their justification of why they are assigning them those particular points, and it's impressive. It's really reassuring. Like, everybody is encouraging each other. This was a great piece, good job, I really like what you did about X, Y, and Z. I think it's just such a innovative way to learn. And learning from each other. It was really interesting to see it in action, which we did last week when we did our class tour.
Well, I think this is so refreshing, and I really appreciate it. We have two more questions from Jennifer. Are the multiple
Jennifer, the questions, thank you so much.
Are the multiple choice exams the same thing as those assessments mentioned with that fee attached, or do they take two different quote tests for each course?
No, so basically, it's there. There's the coursework, which is peer reviewed. This is what happens in those 8 weeks of interaction with the students and with the instructor. And then on the 9th week, there is exams, and that's the assessment we're talking about. So the assessment fee covers that one exam, which happens at the end of the course, and that's it.
Okay, great. That's a very concrete answer. Thank you. And then we'll move to Jennifer's last question. Besides the Facebook group, WhatsApp, etc., are there virtual social activities or clubs for the students?
We don't organize necessarily clubs or social activities, but again, the students have so many different social groups. So all the different Facebook groups, the WhatsApp groups, they then have the ability to organize the activities between them. But we do offer, there's something that I did want to mention of some of the things that we do offer in terms of resources and webinars and ways to all connect with the students together. And some of the more educational programs. I know, Pascaline, you've been doing a series recently around UO People Meets.
Right. Yeah, we just we started a series where we are interviewing some prominent entrepreneurs, academics, people who have done some great things in the world and who can be inspiring for our students. And so we have monthly webinars where they can hear and be inspired and ask questions. And then we also have a number of communities, local communities in different cities around the world where our students get together and can do things together in person. And we have our Yammer groups, which are multiple, and the students can join the Yammer groups and join interest groups and interact between themselves. They can meet, they can get together, they can meet online, they can meet offline. So there are no real clubs because that's tough with students in so many countries. When you're in 200 countries, it's hard to manage that. But the students definitely find peers, and they find friends, and they develop meaningful relationships with an extraordinary community, international community. I mean, one of the things that is so amazing about our students is that when you have 65,000 students from 200 countries, when you're in a classroom with 29 of your peers, chances are they're going to be from 20 different countries, and so you make friends everywhere, and that's that provides a richness of education points of view, which we think is a huge asset for our community.
Yes, it's amazing, and possible places to travel to meet your friends.
Yes, it was really fun. We did a focus group last week through by the way, we have a student ambassador program, which is very popular. So once you join UO People, you are invited to become a UO People advocate or ambassador with us. So that's where we have thousands of students that take part in fun challenges. They all interact again on this platform that we have. We put out fun quizzes, brain teasers, but then we also they help spread our word if we're launching anything new. The new partnerships, for example, that Pascaline spoke about, all the advocates were behind us on that. And we also asked them to help to join us, give us market research. So we did a focus group for 6 South African students, and 2 of them were friends, and both of them were the admins of the South Africa Facebook group for health science. And they lived near each other, knew each other. So again, it's just wonderful to see all these different connections, and you really can build that connection with others through your courses and through UO People. So
And
we've also have had people that have dated as well. We've had couples through UO People.
people are making all kinds of connections.
I know you do. We do, because my team manages the community. We do the community management. So yeah, it's people have made, lots of different relationships, and it's wonderful to see.
Yeah, I can imagine that when you're working that intensely together and really connecting over the work, that you're forming these bonds. I think that's really reassuring for people to hear, because they imagine a college experience as this on-campus thing. And connections can be made in many other ways, as we've all experienced through the pandemic. I've got one last question, but let me read you a few comments. Jennifer's left. She said, "That's amazing," in all caps, to hear that the students make in-person connections happen. And it is that you guys have these city meetups, for people to get together, which can happen more now as people are getting vaccinated.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
getting out. And then her second comment says, "You're speaking my learner's language with the global connection ability, the collaborative learning, and the one assessment at the end of the course."
Excellent. Well, Jennifer, all we can say is please come apply with us at uoppeople.edu.
Might be heading over there to apply soon. And so my last question would just be asking you about career matching or career opportunities, because I loved that page where we saw the different companies that the University of People graduates were employed with. And I'm just wondering, what kind of career matching, how does that happen for students?
So we have a career service center, and the students, there's a portal there's in the student portal, there is a career service center tab where students can find resources to help them get prepared for jobs. So we help them with their resumes. They can take some courses on how to best interview, how to prepare your resume, how to write a motivation letter. So we really try to help them build soft skills around job finding. In terms of matching students to employers, that is not something that we do. Because again, we are such a global university that it's really hard to work with local employers. But we kind of do everything we can to prep the students to then go out and find their opportunities. We can connect them with job boards. We definitely have and we are talking to global employers. And to see whether we can provide our students with opportunities. But I have to say, it's a little, this is definitely going to be a different experience for the student than one in a community college or a college that is in a brick and mortar college in a physical location that has a direct connection with the community. A lot of our students end up in these companies, and then a lot of our students choose to work online and to do their own things. So it really varies. We have a very wide range of interests.
Well, I think the resources that you mentioned are very valuable, and you're already doing so much. You have so many students. You're really opening the gateway to accessibility. So you can't do everything. People have to do a little work themselves. So I'm very grateful that you guys have shared so much information. And Jennifer, her last comment says, "Yes, this has been amazing. So thankful to have been able to attend this webinar." So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And, again, really appreciate you having us on today. And Paige has done a wonderful blog on the Homeschool Concierge blog all about us, which gives a real flavor into more of our courses and our experience, with links back to our site. So definitely please all check out that wonderful blog post that is live. Please come over to our website, follow us on our social media. And as I mentioned, there are so many resources. Something also that's really fun for many of you that will, if you have some time, is that we have an amazing number of blogs on our website. It's under the blogs tab. We have written about every subject that you could think about. We've got thousands of blogs, and it's not just all about blogs about UO people. It's blogs from our academic leadership. It's thought leadership blogs. Shai has written a number of blogs for us, all about very, very topical points. So please check out our blog pages as well, because they're really, really interesting reads. But anything you need, please feel free to reach out to us. info@uopeople.edu if you have any follow-up questions for us. If you have any questions you want to follow up, send to Paige, they can send over to us, then no problem at all. But we very much hope that for you or your children that are thinking about your next steps in higher education, that you will consider UO People, because we would love to have you.
Thank you, ladies, for all of your time and information. It's just so incredible what you're offering. I feel like somebody needs to pinch me. I can't believe it's real.
No, it's a pleasure, and thank you. Thank you for having us, and we love the Homeschool Concierge blog. So look forward to seeing more amazing content webinars coming soon.
Thank you
Thanks
so
so
much.
much. Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Have a great
Bye-bye.
day, everyone. Bye.